But let me come to the second point, and I think that will be quite enough for now, is the issue of codices. Some people say that we hear about a copy of the Qur'an or manuscript that belonged to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, radiallahu anh, and it says while it has basically the same Qur'an, it is claimed that it did not contain Al-Fatiha and the Mu'awwadhatain, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. The answer to that question, first of all, and that's again the very significant issue of tawatur that seemed to be brushed aside by many biased Western Orientalists. Going back again to the question of usul, if you have a narration that has come through multiple channels and they're all identical, would you give that greater importance, or would you give importance to one or two people reporting something different? It's so obvious. Even I was reading in a book in Christian theology, and while that committed Christian himself was writing as a basic rule that they accept in their own theology, he says that you must interpret anything that is really shadh or different, quite different, in the light of something which is very bountiful. For example, if Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he argues, in hundreds of statements indicate his humanity, and then there may be some statement that somehow carries possibility of interpretation, you must interpret them in the light of the many, not interpret the many in the light of the few. That's a very simple rule of logic and theology, whether it applies to Islam or others. So this issue must be brought to mind also. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is a great companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? Suppose, and by the way, there are some scholars who dispute even that riwayah, dispute that indeed Abdullah ibn Mas'ud did not include Al-Fatiha and Mu'awwadhatain. And these are well-known scholars in verification. Ibn Hajar, An-Nawawi, and Ibn Hazm are very important names among historians and scholars of hadith. And all of them believe that this narration about the codex of Ibn Mas'ud is weak. But I'm going even beyond that. Suppose it were not weak. Number one, how do we know that Al-Fatiha is part and parcel of the Qur'an? Through one or two or three sources? It is absolute tawatur. There is no single Muslim, past or present, including Ibn Mas'ud himself, who did not memorize Al-Fatiha. It's well known that it's part of the pillars or the essential prerequisite for the validity of prayers. So even if it were true, whether he lost that page or for some reason, or did not put it because everybody memorized it. Furthermore, you talk about Mu'awwadhatain at the end of the Qur'an. Even if you say that he might have lost a manuscript, suppose he didn't write it even. Everybody memorized that, and there are numerous sound ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ about Mu'awwadhatain. مَا سَأَلَ سَائِلٌ بِمِثْلِهِمَا وَلَا اسْتَعَاذَ مُسْتَعِيذٌ بِمِثْلِهِمَا. That there are lots of talk about the Mu'awwadhatain, and it comes also by tawatur through numerous sources. So this is something, again, that one has to keep in mind.